Alright, so I finally have the Sporothrix. Now, I actually had the parts for this weapon for a while now, and they're not that hard to get. You gotta do the tier 3 bounty, and the only way to do that is you have to open the other two walls, and you gotta farm it a little bit, but I would say it's kind of worth it. It's not bad, it's pretty decent. But the weapon itself, I would say, is kind of worth it. I would say not kind of, actually, it is worth it because it's the status sniper. It's like the first status sniper that I've ever seen, like fully status. I mean, I know the Comorex has good status also, and it also has that projectile that explodes. I think the projectile that it has with the zoom on it explodes on impact or something like that. But this has the impact explosion also, and it also has a pretty good punch when it comes to, just the damage alone. But this is a pretty good weapon, and of course, this has no crit at all, which doesn't really help it, but it's okay. It's not bad, and it's definitely a pretty decent weapon. Now, the build that I actually wanted to do before, which I actually did not end up doing, which is I wanted to do like a full-on crit build, but the crit level is just so low that no matter what you put on it, it's not going to be good. So I just went on full-on status. I have 3 status mods: high voltage, malignant force, thermite rounds, and then I have as much damage I can slap on it. You don't really need all 4 status mods. 100, I think I have 144, maybe 148, something like that, status, which is good enough. You can get all the status effects on there. I have amalgam serration, of course. That's just my thing, but you can use normal serration. Then you have split chamber, heavy caliber, vigilant armaments, and then infected clip, just to add a little bit more damage. You could throw in, technically, you can throw in prime cryo rounds, but the reason I didn't really throw that in, the reason being that I was like, it's probably gonna overpower the corrosive proc, and I didn't really want it to do that. So I just ended up, with the infected clip, and yeah, that's it. Now, the single target damage on this thing is actually like pretty good. Like, I didn't actually expect it to do like as much damage as it does, but it actually does pretty well. Like, it's not a bad. Like, yeah, this is definitely a sniper, but not having that crit, I thought that it would not do that well, but it actually does pretty well. If you could get those headshots, even you're not gonna get any crit, but you might as well bop them in the head. And this is definitely like a crowd using sniper. Like, I would definitely use it in a crowd because of the explosions and everything like that, and you can spread a lot of status effects on this, and it's a pretty decent weapon. It's not bad. Now, the only thing that I would say, if you want to get crit on this thing, now I know somebody said Harrow is a good way to get crit on this thing, and with crit, of course, this thing just murders. This thing can, I would say, this thing can probably one shot on 135 if you have like a crit buff on it. So if you can put a crit buff on it, with like an arcane, or maybe with your cavat, which I just use it with a cavat, because the even the 60% that you get from the Adarza cavat, you can even want 2-shot with like that. So this is pretty good. It has a lot of crit damage. That's why it's able to like really do a lot of damage when it comes to crit. But all in all, I would say this is a pretty decent weapon. Now, I think if you can get your hands on this weapon, I think you should. It's definitely a unique sniper. It only has 1 zoom. I'm not using the sniper scope, so you can't really see that, but I don't really use sniper scopes anyway. But it only has 1 zoom, 2.3 times. It's a little bit too zoomy for me, even though it's like the least amount of zoom on like a sniper, other than that minus negative 50% zoom on the Rubico, that fucking Nightwave mod, which I like this Rubico because of that mod alone. But I think I'll definitely use this in sorties and shit, because I think this can easily just pile through sorties and shit like that. And also, I did try it in Steel Path, and it isn't bad. It's definitely decent. Now, You're definitely gonna run out of ammo with this. I think no matter where you use it. The reason being, it has 9 in the mag, which is better than Rubico a little bit. So you don't reload that often, but you definitely reload. And I think the reload is also like 2.3 seconds. So yeah, reload is kind of a little bit slow, but yeah, whatever. And also the reserve magazine is not a lot, so yeah. It's kind of a it's definitely a good sniper rifle, but you know, of course, the ammo efficiency is not good. The ammo economy is not that great. So yeah, I would say maybe use like a sniper ammo mutation, or something like that. Put like that on there on the Exla slot. Maybe you can get that, or you can use carrier. But I would definitely suggest using like an Adarza Kavat or a Smita Kavat, whichever one you have, to get that crit buff, because if you have that crit buff on there, this thing can just shoot through enemies. Like this will just fucking kill any enemy that you want. So yeah, that's the Sporothrix. Yeah, that's how it's pronounced. Sporothrix. The infested sniper rifle. I know I'm late on this, but that's it. Yep. And bye.